Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my aviation channel. Give you a little bit of background so you know I'm not just some moron flapping his gums, that maybe I do know a little bit about a few things, so you can be the judge for yourself. But I like to talk about civilian, commercial, military aviation, flight test, physics, engineering, sometimes about rehabbing houses, although not too much, and actually, a lot I like to talk about is accident investigation because part of my work as chairman of the ALPA Airline Pilot Association New Aircraft Evaluation and Certification Committee was to make sure that new aircraft were developed such that we took into account a lot of the advances in technology so we could prevent the recurrence of accidents if at all possible. Now, I'll give you a little bit about my background. Okay, I started out as a genuine nerd. I was going to be a nuclear physicist. I built a particle accelerator, a half MeV, half million electron volts accelerator. I did a thing on the charge independence of the nuclear force, and I was going to be a nuclear physicist. So I go into physics. I ended up working for Dr. James Van Allen. I operated the Engine 5 satellite, and I also was involved in calibrating the detectors that went on Pioneer 10 and 11 for him. And this is the control room of the 2 million volt electron accelerator. There's the what's called as the Van de Graaff. It's got the sphere off there on the left there, but it kind of looks like my half million electron volt accelerator there. And in the process, I met my very beautiful and intelligent wife. And over now 53 years or so, we have grown into a very nice family. But I couldn't afford to fly. I mean, the prices now for somebody getting a license are just astronomical. But back then, I couldn't afford it. But I could afford to skydive. So I started the Iowa Parachute Team. I was the president and founder because it was a lot cheaper to only pay for the first half of the flight where you go up and then you jump out. So that was cheaper. But finally, I decided I'm going to go in the Air Force, and I was accepted, and now they're going to pay me to learn how to fly. So that was cool. 35 hours, a little Cherokee 140 time, and I had my private pilot's license. Went into the Air Force, became an Air Force pilot, became an instructor pilot. Went out to Edwards back between 77 and 1979 in flight test, and there was a lot of fun stuff going on out there, a lot of programs, and just had a great time being a chase pilot and the senior flight examiner in the T-38 at Stannavelle. I got to chase a lot of neat airplanes and had my application into the Air Force Test Pilot School, but they wanted to put me in a ground job at the F-16 Flight Control because I just about completed a master's in electrical engineering and aeronautical engineering, and I go, no, I want to fly. So I get out, I go to United Airlines, get hired, and then promptly furloughed. I got furloughed 17 days before I was going to come off probation. My son was later hired as a United pilot, and I told him, gosh, I hope it doesn't take you almost 6 years to complete 17 days of probation. But okay, I'm furloughed. What do I do? Oh my gosh, this was kind of a shock. Well, I went to work for Cessna Flight Test since I had a flight test background, and I went to work for them. And Cessna was getting shaky back in the early 80s with the recession and all that. So I decided I was going to go over to Boeing Flight Test, and I did that for a while. And I decided, hey, since I almost had a master's in electrical engineering and really liked microwave stuff, yeah, that's weird, right? That I wanted to at least try it for a while and see what it was about. With my background at Cessna, I also taught at flight safety a little bit in the Cessna Twin section. But I decided I wanted to kind of see what it was like to work as electrical engineer. And if I, screwed up, I was going to get recalled most likely in 6 months, so it didn't matter. Well, in 6 months, I was lead engineer in the group because I developed a fix for the B-52 radar that more than doubled its accuracy. Actually, it exceeded our ability to measure it. It had such a good, what's known as a null. But anyway, I had a fun time. Finally got recalled to United Airlines. And there's some of the other stuff. If you have trouble sleeping at night, that's some of the other stuff I was involved in doing. And I became a member of the new Aircraft Valuation Certification Committee, eventually became its chairman, chaired that committee, chaired the Airworthiness and Performance Committee when we merged them together into the Airworthiness, Performance Evaluation and Certification Committee. And I got to do a lot of neat things like be involved in the original flight test of the Boeing 777. I was team leader on the Working Together group. Yeah, that was back when we had a good reputation, the Airline Pilots Association with Boeing, and also back when Boeing was a lot different company. But in this whole process, I got to meet a lot of really cool people, got to do a lot of neat things. Did a flight evaluation on the C-17 because McDonnell Douglas, before they merged and took over Boeing, was trying to sell the C-17 as the MD-17, which never quite worked out for a number of reasons I'll disclose when I talk about that in the flight evaluation. But in this whole process, I got a couple of awards there. I got the Aviation Week and Space Technology Laurels Award for a work I'd done on pilot authority and aircraft protections. And I also got from the Society of Experimental Test Pilots the Best Technical Paper of the Year Award. There is it being presented to me at the Society of Experimental Test Pilots Annual Symposium. This is a picture of the paper there that I developed. It talks about various flight control design philosophies between Boeing and Airbus, and talks about the history of some of the ways that aircraft flight control systems were designed. And Boeing also presented me with a very nice model of the 777, and with a little plaque about being being on the working together team. I was actually the leader of the team, and on the Collier Trophy, totally unable to be visible down there, is my name. And I also got a certificate for my work as chairman of the Society of Automotive Engineers, or Aerospace Engineers, I guess they like to call themselves, the AE4R Radiated Environment Data Accuracy Committee, developed the electromagnetic environment certification criteria that the FAA used to certify fly-by-wire aircraft. And then I kept my nose clean for 50 years, so I got the Wright Brothers Master pilot certificate there. And the high school I was kind of a little bit of a difficult student, let's put it that way, during high school. And they tried to expel me, but later they decided they're going to give me a distinguished graduate award. I hope they buried those nuns face down, because I'm sure they're rolling over in their grave. And then my final flight out of Maui after a 36-year airline career. I was 1 week short of 37 years, and they one spot me the week. So, okay, 36 plus years of flying. There's my last flight out of Maui. I got the water cannon salute. And because of my background with ALPA safety work, I like to go in and discuss aviation accidents, the lessons we have learned from the accidents, and improvements that have been made to the equipment and systems to make flying a much better and safer experience today. And just a lot of times, a lot of history of how these developments came about. And I've been in retirement as of now, 2024, 9 years. I got old and decrepit. At 65, they kick you out from being an airline pilot. So I took my skills, and I get to play with my toys now. And I originally got into this YouTube channel just to kind of leave a little bit of my history to my kids and grandkids, but other people have found it interesting too. So I hope you do also. And that is a little bit about my channel and my background, so you don't necessarily think I'm just some idiot flapping my gums who has no experience or background. So for what it's worth, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it informative.